Today, I'm going to talk about a movie from 2021 called Last Man Down. It's about a world where a disease has killed most people, and those left are ruled by an army. After the disease wipes out many people in Europe, survivors move up north to stay safe. But even there, they can't escape power struggles. One night, a soldier named John and his wife Amelia are captured. John was supposed to kill people in a town who had the disease, but some of them are missing. Commander Stone, their captor, wants to know where they went. John won't talk, so Stone threatens Amelia. John pleads for her life, saying the missing people had already left when they got there. Stone doesn't believe him. John even asks Stone to kill him instead, but Stone threatens Amelia instead. John is heartbroken, unable to save his wife. 3 years later, John lives alone in a cabin by a lake. He feels very sad about his wife's death. Even though he's away from the army and other people, he keeps getting stronger and fighting to stay alive. One evening while reading a book, he remembers seeing Stone and his soldiers kill people trying to escape from town. John tried to stop them, but Stone, the commander, said he was a traitor and knocked him out. Later, John was taken away on a plane. Stone said John's wife, Amelia, was sick and would die soon anyway. But John didn't believe him because Amelia had been tested not long before Stone killed her. Stone said it was safer to kill people who might be sick, but John thought they were innocent. Stone laughed and talked about what they would do with John. Because John couldn't get sick, they didn't kill him for trying to stop them. Instead, they put him on a Navy ship to figure out why he couldn't get sick. But when they tried to take his blood, John killed the doctor and ran away. He found out that Stone was waiting for him nearby. As the prisoner ran away, the boss told his soldiers to find him and make the boat safe. But John fought and got away. John sits near his fire when a hurt lady comes from the trees. She asks him to hide her before fainting. Maria wakes up in John's bed with handcuffs on. She's scared, but the man tells her he won't hurt her. He wants to take out the bullet to stop it getting worse. He says her wound came from a gun. Maria worries if he's a doctor. John says no and takes out the bullet. He finds out the bullet had a tracker, so he breaks it and asks Maria who's after her. But Maria faints from pain, leaving him with only a barcode on her wrist as a clue. When she wakes up later, her savior tells her to leave once she is recovered, since he does not want her worries to reach him. Despite this, Maria stays and even tries to help when she is strong enough. John refuses and tells her to rest so she may recuperate and depart sooner. With no alternative, the woman returns to the cabin. When he's alone, 3 soldiers come across John while searching for Maria, claiming she's contaminated. The man does not react, so the troops go inside his cabin to look for the woman. Seeing this, John attacks, killing 2 of them. However, one man manages to get into his cabin. John then hears a gunshot, but to his astonishment, it was Maria who pulled the trigger after discovering one of his weapons and shooting the soldier. After disposing of the bodies, John goes to his shed where Maria discovers him storing the soldiers' rifles. She notices the weapons he has accumulated, which makes her wonder who he truly is. John just explains that he prefers to be prepared. Maria insists on being allowed to stay and help out after demonstrating her ability to protect herself. With this in mind, John hands her a mop to clean up the mess she caused in his cabin. As she does so, she accidentally wounds herself on a splinter, prompting her to search the cabin for a first aid bag where she discovers a few hidden vials. Meanwhile, Granite wonders why the men she sent to find Maria have not returned. Her companion, Dr. FPAT, assumes the soldiers are dead and advises sending another squad to investigate. With that in mind, Granite approaches its trainees to see if they are prepared. She instructs them to attack her, but none of them land a blow. Instead, she dispatches them with ease. Their trainer reminds out that they are not supposed to kill the trainees, but Granite accuses him of failing to adequately prepare them. At the cabin, John's recent fight has brought up terrible memories, so he demands to know who Maria is. She simply recalls how she escaped the institution and walked through the woods to his cabin. She knows the military would come hunting for her again, so she begs John whether she should leave. To her delight, the man declines. He points out that the men said she was infected, yet she had no symptoms. He also realizes that the persons after her are the same ones who murdered his wife. He sees this as an opportunity for retaliation and ensures Maria's safety. As the woman leans on him in appreciation, John recalls his time with Amelia. Maria awakens to discover John creating a sandbag wall in preparation for a fight. This makes her understand how severe the situation is. Throughout the day, John continues to defend his home and gather supplies. Maria finally gives him the entire tale that evening, demonstrating her trust and thanks for his efforts. The next day, John is intrigued by Maria's ability to handle a gun. so she tells him about her life before the virus. She became a delinquent and lived off minor crime. This evolved into her utilizing weapons, which landed her in prison when the infection spread. Maria was the only penitentiary survivor, so she was sent to a lab for testing. This is how they discovered her immunity. Empathizing with her, John begins teaching Maria to improve her shooting skills in the hopes that she would be able to protect herself. Unbeknownst to them, another squad searches the woods for the woman. Later on, while they prepare spears, John notices something in the woods. He then excuses himself to go to the restroom but proceeds to his shed instead. The fresh squad notices him and surrounds the shed, only to see the man waiting for them with a rifle in hand. He effortlessly dispatches 2 of them, but the final one manages to capture Maria. Instead of exiting the shed, John shoots an arrow through the holes in the wooden wall, striking the opponent in the leg. This allows Maria to flee while John kills her kidnapper. Knowing that the remainder of the army will arrive if the second squad fails to return, John advises Maria to be prepared. Granite rallies their troops just as he expected. Meanwhile, John and Maria prepare the weapons he has collected over the years. Following that, the man heads to his campsite in the woods to shower. Maria cleans herself up immediately after him, and seeing the woman's physique tempts John, but he resists his desires. Maria is captured late that afternoon while fetching water by the lake. The barcode on her wrist confirms her identity, so Felt's Pat radios Stone and informs him that they have located the target. Just then, John arrives and murders the men. When the 2 return to their cabin, they discover that troops have also arrived. They quickly take them out, unknowing that FPAT survives and calls for help. With that addition, soldiers arrive for John and Maria to defeat. When Stone discovers that his men are being defeated, he wonders who is assisting Maria, and Granite guesses he is someone who used to be in special forces. Using various techniques, the duo eliminates scores of guys Stone sends their way. Maria even uses gasoline to burn down a couple of soldiers. After fighting innumerable warriors, John and Maria finally meet. The man instructs his companion to begin cleaning up the bodies, but the fatigued woman wonders why they should bother. John informs her that it is preferable for their adversaries to go missing than to be discovered dead by their allies. Following that, the 2 work on disposing of the dead. Granite, on the other hand, sends in more men for reconnaissance, and her squad discovers a concealed passage beneath the cabin. They report it to Granite, but before they can investigate, Maria emerges and kills them. Seeing that their adversaries are still looking for them, John pursues the troops through the woods. Unbeknownst to him, Granite discovers that the tunnel is an ancient mining shaft. This prompts her to develop a means to sneak up on their adversaries. John continues to search for soldiers through the woods but is attacked by FPAT. Meanwhile, Maria sets traps when she is imprisoned at gunpoint. As they approach, she reveals hidden knives and kills her captives. Elsewhere, John confronts and pummels his opponent. FPAT turns the tables and eventually knocks him out with the end of a rifle. Just then, another soldier reports to FPAT that he has found Maria by the lake. As the man tries to apprehend her, he accidentally pulls the trigger before she can shoot back. FPAT discovers the woman down and wounded, so he prepares a syringe to capture her. By the time John regains awareness, FPAT has an unconscious Maria draped over his shoulders. He transports her down the tunnels to deliver her to Stone while attempting to radio Stone to inform him that John is alive. However, the signal is too faint for him to send the message, so he continues down the tunnel. In the woods, John comes upon a soldier's radio and overhears that the surviving men are being summoned back, as FPAT already has Maria. With that, he dashes back to the cabin. Eventually, FPAT becomes lost in the tunnels. When John emerges from the darkness, the army doctor quickly pummels him. However, John pushes back and delivers many hits. When FPAT fails to arrive on time, Stone sends the rest of his soldiers to storm the tunnels in search of Maria. Maria awakens just in time for John to kill her captor as they are fighting. With this, they leave. Granite and her men eventually catch up with them, so the 2 lead them into a room and start a shootout. They kill their attackers as they come and manage to take a shield from one of them. Maria takes the shield on her companion's orders while John deploys a smoke bomb to hide their tracks as they go. However, Granite notices them and shoots John regardless. The 2 flee, and after traveling far enough, John opens a service hatch and hides inside. This permits them to let the soldiers pass unnoticed. Despite his injuries, John encourages Maria to remain hidden while he deals with their enemies. She rejects, saying she does not want to live without him. Before she leaves, the man encourages her to do so. Maria can't help but cry since she believes her final ally is dying. John continues the fight through the tunnels, dodging gunshots and luring Maria's pursuers away. He eventually emerges from the tunnels only to find himself in the center of Stone's base. He stands stunned before his opponent, who is relieved to see him still alive. He orders his guys to stand down because John is an old buddy. However, the warrior corrects him, stating that they are family. This shows that Stone and John are brothers, with the former changing his name to advance through the ranch, as this was partly to spite their father, who had favored John throughout their infancy. The boss wants Maria, but John says he already hurt her. But John's brother knows he didn't hurt her. To make John talk, Stone's guys hit him until he tells where Maria is. Lots of soldiers surround John and hit him, while his brother keeps insulting him. But John won't say where Maria is. Stone gets mad and kicks his brother. Then he says he'll never talk and tells his guys to kill John. Hearing this, someone calls Stone a coward, saying he's scared of fighting his almost dead brother. He challenges Stone to a fight, and Stone agrees with a smirk. Stone starts the fight strong, hitting John first. John, tired, can barely fight back. Stone, feeling bad for John, threatens to hurt his wife before attacking again. This time John gets angry and hits Stone hard enough to knock him down. Stone, beaten, asks Granite for a gun, but she just smiles, enjoying his defeat. Stone takes a rifle from someone else and aims it at John's head, but John isn't scared. He remembers how Stone killed his wife years ago. John takes the gun from Stone and shoots him, putting an end to Stone's power. The man's friends surround him and Granite watches, enjoying the scene. She admits she wanted to kill Stone too, but thanks John for doing it instead. She refuses to fight, so John has no choice but to die. Suddenly, Maria arrives holding grenades, threatening to kill herself if they don't spare John. The new leader agrees and takes Maria away. Leaving John hurt, he promises to find and rescue Maria. Maria is taken onto a plane where she meets Granite's boss, Commander Zahara. Zahara wants to use a cure to make a new society like her. Maria had secretly taken Zahara's blood before, leaving vials in John's cabin. This would help find a cure and help people without the bad army. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next video.